There we go. Welcome everyone to another episode of well, that's all funny, I guess. I don't know. I have an interview today with special guest. My guest today is American cartoonist and award-winning illustrator P. Revis. No, I mean Michael Kupperman. That's who I have today. Hi, Michael. Hey, what's up?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Pretty good.
That's good, man. No, I know it. You're kind of like up there in the New Yorker, so like it's like burning up there, isn't it? It's kind of like really fires.
It's been years since I was in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay, yeah, I know it's just been hard. I don't know, like I think I remember I saw you saying about the whenever it was orange smoke out there, and it was kind of tripping everyone out.
You mean in New York City?
Yeah,
Oh yeah. It's been a harsh summer.
a cruel summer. No, it's
Yeah.
yeah, no, and it's weird that we have so many more summers to go until the last summer.
Well, I
It's
have,
only
I
gonna.
have a kid, so I feel bad. This is the way things are going.
No, I understand. Like, I have two nieces, and like this is the world we're kind of leaving them. In it's kind of
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. It's depressing, but I mean, what can you do? We're only just one person, right?
Yeah.
I
What can you do?
don't- yeah, no, I mean, it gets so depressing so quick, but
I mean, I live
I
in, we
mhm,
live in the city. I don't drive. I've literally never driven.
mhm,
You know, I'm pretty low carbon footprint, but humans are destructive creatures.
mhm,
You know, just
mhm.
by existing.
Yeah, yeah. It's in our nature to destroy. What was it? Rod Serling had that. The most dangerous animal on earth was man, or whatever he says, right?
Yeah.
Uh, I had finished reading your that graphic memoir called "All the Answers" about your father's fame in the 1940s as one of the quiz kids. I had never heard of that. Um, I mean, I know like there's stuff like that out there, because I watch a lot of reruns from, or I would like from Nickelodeon with the "I Dream of Jeannie," the "Bewitched," "I Love Lucy." Uh, and I see that like I don't know if he later on in life, like you were showing in the book, that he would get dementia, and was that kind of like him sort of coping with the childhood he had and sort of that I don't know what you would call it, trauma, and do you think that follows us generationally, like it would follow to you and then worrying that it would follow to your son as well? You think we can escape that?
Yeah. I mean, I think you do pass it on to your kids unless you make an effort. Like my wife and I are watching Wife Swap right
Mhm.
now,
Mhm.
and it's fascinating how you see that every family on there is reacting to trauma, like generational trauma. They're all like reacting to their weird upbringings by being weird themselves.
Mhm.
And if you can look at that and go, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to try to make sense out of my life. You have a better chance of not passing it on.
Yeah. Like
You know?
breaking the cycle?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I always say our lives are like a broken record. They are just going to keep skipping until we, fix it right there. Um and I know like my mother, my grandmother, and then my mother had that like quote unquote psychotic uh lifestyle, I guess. And it was different back when, because they didn't call it, what they call it nowadays, or have the medications, or like men had to cope with it differently. Did I don't know how your father like made it through those times when men had to be men. It wasn't like hey, what would they say, like, get back up. They didn't. I don't know. I wouldn't say cater, but nowadays we're more about mental health. I don't know how it was for you as a child, but for me it was like that, where men had to be men. Like we had to go to work and hold in all of our emotions.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and I don't know if I don't know. Do you think that's like, I wouldn't say a good thing for your son that he has it nowadays like that, or would you want it to still be that way, where we would have to hold it in and just kind of like buck up? I don't know how you know what I mean, how you would rather
Ye-
have it for him.
I feel like male identity has become a prison,
Mhm.
kind of.
Mhm.
Um, and I see lots of kids who just don't wanna, you know? They are experimenting with gender or whatever, but they don't wanna be part of this.
Mhm.
And I think more kids are feeling that way, and that's great. Of course, I'm in New York City,
Mhm.
so everything is permitted here. I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
how it is in the rest of the country.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here in Texas, it's different. Men are, cowboys and all that. We don't
Yeah.
eat the salsa from New York City.
I've seen the commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New York City. So I know, I had just recently seen this, the Snake and Bacon had a pilot for Adult Swim.
Yeah.
And it was funny. No, like I watched it, and it's like good old I would say good old irreverent humor. Reminds me a lot of like Tim and Eric, and that kind of style. Why didn't that get like picked up? It seems like it would have fit right in with Adult Swim, what they had going there.
They've told me they regret passing on it, but the main reason they did was because the live action was not good enough on its own,
Uh-huh.
you know? Uh, yeah, that was tough.
Mhm.
I wish they had picked it up, but yeah, that was sad. It was just such an amazing cast.
Mhm.
Mm.
And you don't think that could find another home, or be revisited, anything like that? Some sort of,
Sure,
like, on you
of
I
course it could.
mean, as far as YouTube goes, they can they self-publish stuff nowadays. I don't know. I know it's a lot harder. I'm not uh an illustrator. I know art is a lot, like, different.
It's yeah. I've never been good at the like selling and the going out there and making deals.
Mhm.
Like I've done it a few times, but it's not my strength, and I'm not really a Hollywood person.
Mm, I get you.
But that deal was actually made by two writers from The Daily Show, and they had this pilot idea, and yeah, that's what happened.
Mm. Well, no, it's a shame it didn't get picked up, because it's hilarious. Like,
No, thank you.
you know? Yeah. Uh, I read that you wrote for DC Comics. It's Is that true at some point, or?
Yeah, back in the '90s. Was this in my Wikipedia?
Yeah, I was reading there.
I haven't looked at that in decades. I gotta go on there and get some new stuff. I wrote for the Cartoon Network adaptations they were doing.
Mhm.
So I did Scooby Doo, the Jetsons,
Hmm.
the Flintstones, Wacky Races,
Oh, I
that
love
kind of
that.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd love that stuff. And I was gonna ask you, like, what do you think? about all the like comic book movies and TV shows that have been recently coming out. This whole I don't know if it's like an overload to you or it's what do you what's your opinion on all of that?
The Marvel stuff pretty much stopped being entertaining to me a while ago. I went to see Shang-Chi
Mhm.
with my kid because he just said, let go see a movie. And we sat through 90 minutes of it. And then he said, I've seen enough. Let's go. You know, and he was right. We'd seen enough. The one good comic book movie of the last, I don't know how many years, was the James Gunn Suicide Squad movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was really
Yeah.
good.
No, yeah, he seems like he cares about I don't know, the source material, I guess, or at least these characters that are a little different and not your uh basic Batman or Superman, you know.
He's just better at making an entertaining movie than
Mhm.
most of those guys. I liked the new Galaxy of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mhm.
I liked the new one pretty much, but it had Chris Pratt, and they got the high evolutionary wrong, which bugged me.
Mhm.
Because his whole thing is he's a scientist who's unemotional and doesn't care about feelings or people, and he was just like a raging, you know, a very emotional
Yeah,
guy.
all emotion
Yeah.
at the top, yeah.
So
What what do you think
no,
of these I don't know, cause I mean, I grew up around the time when what do they call it? The Disney Renaissance with, the Little Mermaids, the Aladdins, all that great animation, I guess. And then now they're remaking them into live action or 3D. Do you think there's still a place for like hand drawn animated movies or TV shows, instead of all this computer generated stuff?
I think it's a really bad trend that has to end sometime.
Mhm.
That they don't want creativity in their product. You know,
Mhm.
uh, the great Disney when I was growing up was Robin Hood with the fox.
Mhm.
You know, I don't enjoy anything they do anymore.
Yeah, no, they've become. It seems all about money. I remember growing up too with the Don Bluth, and I always wonder what would have happened if Don Bluth had won the battle instead of Disney,
Yeah,
because his animation. I mean, it was. It. Well, I don't know. Again, I'm not an artist, so I don't want to critique it on terms of how clean it was, but it was different. It felt more real. I
it
could
felt like
say.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It felt darker almost, a little like darker and real.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I grew up a lot with, like Rockadoodle and um, man, what other did he do a American an American Tale, 50 Goes West, The Brave Little Toaster?
No, no, that was Disney.
Okay, so I know we were talking about these new digital generations and all that stuff. I saw recently on Twitter, you had like a bit of a backlash for using like AI on some illustrations of yours.
No, I would
Uh,
never use them for actual illustrations.
uh-huh.
I had made these fake New Yorker covers
Mhm.
using AI,
Mhm.
like something I did in the middle of the night months ago when someone let me use their AI engine,
Mhm.
and they were just funny. So I thought it would be funny to put them on some T-shirts
Yeah.
because they're so messed up,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I saw them.
Uh,
They're like vomited art. Like
right?
it didn't know what to do.
Yeah, like I'm not going. These images are so amazing. they're my art now.
Mhm.
It was just a joke.
Mhm.
But some people just didn't like the fact that I was using AI at
Yeah.
all. And some of them got real outraged, you know.
Y Yeah, I don't get the internet being so well, I do, never mind. It's so critical, like, they go straight for the jugular nowadays, you know, like, would you personally like, I know you took it down and all that, but would you really mind, like, using AI in, like, writing or drawing? Would you be so against it?
I don't think it can write.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Mhm.
And I think the idea that it can make writing or good art depends on everything being made bad first. Like a lot of the writing on the line is already nonsense.
Mhm.
It's just gibberish.
Mhm.
So no, I don't. I think AI is a fun tool to mess around with and see what it spits out, but it can't replace anyone.
Yeah.
I really don't think it can. I think it's just that the greed of the people who run the industries we work in is out of control.
Mhm.
They're shaving every dollar for the shareholders, and I don't know where they're going to stop. You
I
know,
don't
but it's not. It's
they
not the AI's fault.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
I don't think they will ever stop anytime they could shave a penny a penny anywhere, I'm sure they would.
but logically, it has to stop because you can't just making just keep making the worst stuff possible and making it worse and worse because someone will come up with an alternative
Mhm.
inevitably.
Mhm.
So I don't know when the turn is going to come, but I think it has to come.
Yeah, no, I think I had an idea where it was like, I AI can write a joke, but it doesn't know why it's funny, you know? Like, so it has really I don't wanna say no soul to it, I don't wanna go into the whole idea of that, but, yeah, it can tell a joke, but it won't tell it. It doesn't know why it's funny, why it's telling it, why you're laughing at it, you know?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no actual communication of ideas
Mhm.
that's central to creative work. I worked in a Barnes and Noble back in the early 90s,
Mhm.
and I remember there was a book of machine poetry that was basically the same stuff, 30 years ago. And it's fun for a little bit, but it's it's not enough to make a culture out of, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's not gonna be its own renaissance and, launch us into a new, creative like you said, it's good maybe for I feel like for ideas, it's good as a tool, but not,
Sure.
as leverage like these, bigger companies are saying, "Oh, it's gonna replace, the human," you know?
People in charge of stuff are really stupid. That's what we're seeing. Deeply stupid.
No, it's silly. I don't know what it is. I don't know if you want to call it the elite, the rich, or I know as far as politicians, they're just out of touch with stuff. So I don't know why these people. I don't know. It's out of my pay grade how to judge that the silliness.
Yeah.
Um I know, on you have your Patreon and your website shows you, working on stuff, constantly. What are your opinions on, like, the crowdfunding, things like Kickstarters or, what is it, Indiegogos and stuff? Because 'Cause I've seen that kinda popular with people self-publishing.
I've just never had the confidence to try it. I
Mhm.
should, but I've always been too nervous.
Well, it seems
So,
like a lot of work. It is a lot of work because it's not you know, it's not just drawing. I'm sure it's putting yourself out there, and then you could fail or not commit to it. I don't know. There's a lot of is the reward worth the risk? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I could I could understand that, and then especially with you know you have your son. Sounds like he's your priority, which is good. I'm not used to a parent actually caring about their child, so that's different.
No, he's wonderful. I do feel like we escaped all the curses of the previous generations.
Mhm.
Like my birth family and the family I live with are very, very different.
Mhm.
Like my family is nice and relaxed, and we get along. We have a good time. You know, especially during COVID, we worked really hard on it, and that was one of the good things about COVID. You could work on your family relationships and on yourself because everything else was stopped.
Yeah. No, I get it. It changed priorities for a lot of people. It lets you concentrate on what, you know, you needed to take a step back and reevaluate things. Uh I've I'm going to do a pitch here to you. Let me know what you think of it. I had this comic book idea. Uh it's a man who does laundry. So that's his superpower because men are supposedly can't do laundry, right? Only women can.
Hmm.
So that's his superpower, and he fights villains like the Cotton Picker, who's 100% pure evil. You have Static Cling, you have Leatherfist, and then ultimately he fights his wife, who's named Bleach. Whereas you know, Bleach can hurt your clothes or help them. So there's your twist there.
That's intriguing.
Yeah, I didn't know what you'd think of yeah, I remember coming up with an idea like that. Well, what's the man's superpower? If he could do laundry, he's essentially superhuman, you know. But I call me old fashioned. No, but yeah, no, I appreciate you coming on today, you know, and answering my questions, giving me the time
Of
to
course.
you know, I know you obviously have other things you could be doing with your son, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate you breaking the cycle with any sort of generational you know, bad juju that can get
Yeah.
passed on. Uh-huh. But is there anything you want to promote? I got most of your like in bottom website, your
Oh, you're
Patreon,
dropping again.
your oh, I got if you want to promote anything, I got your website, your Patreon, your Instagram there at the bottom where they can find you, and it'll be in the description.
Well, no, right, no, not right now. You got it covered. I am getting a deal with the book, my next book, but it won't be out until 2025. So there's not much point promoting it right now.
All right. Well, no, I'll look forward to that, and yeah, no, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it, and yeah, I hope nothing but the best for you. You know, it's
Thanks.
hard to
Thank you.
yeah, no, yeah, I don't know, like I get it. I got a buddy who's an illustrator, and it's a dog eat dog world. You know, like and now you got machines to fight against. It's crazy.
Life got a lot easier when I was like, it's not going to get better. It's just going to get, but you're okay. You know,
Yeah, yeah. Well,
got to be
I
okay with
guess
it.
that's a good advice to leave on. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you, Lorenzo.
Yeah, take